Ooh, very interesting. Yeah, so hi guys. So what we've got again is we've got Tuesday again. We start off our printing fonts on fabrics and doing some. We're going to be making some tote bags today, or you can do it on a t-shirt or anything. I'm just going to show you a quick thing what we're going to be doing, and how to do that. First of all, we're going to run off a kind of test print to see if we need any more cutting doing, and then we're going to delve right into it. It's a pretty similar process. It's just needs a bit more pressure, a bit easier with a press if you've got access to a press. But since we don't in lockdown, we are going to wing it as we normally have done. Okay. So yeah, guys, it's been a really we're in the second week of lockdown now, is it? And our second season of second week of second lockdown. There's lots of twos. Yeah, we've done a really good job. Seeing all your work on there, you've got your work to be submitting to the exhibition that'll be happening in January. So that's super cool. It's good seeing all your work coming along and everything you're doing. As always, yeah, super proud, and you're doing super good. Yeah, so today we're going to be finishing up our print video of printing on fabrics. We have our lovely final etched number backwards but forwards on my camera that I'm looking at now. But yeah, yeah, we'll finish that off. I snapped a couple of tools in the process of doing this. I've made a bit of a mess. Look at all my lovely wood cuttings. Who said that printmaking was a tidy sport? Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to print these off. We're going to do a test run, have a look at how it looks, align everything, get everything registered so we can print it onto t-shirts, bags, whatever fabrics you're feeling like you're wanting to print on. And yeah, let's get that sorted. So I'm going to clean up this horrible mess that I made, and yeah, then we're going to start printing. Okay, so what you'll need is your roller, you'll need your printing medium, and you'll need a kind of glass or plexiglass surface to you can see how dirty my kitchen is through that, to roll onto and to kind of spread the ink and then loosen the ink off and then get it on the plate and then so forth and such which. What we'll be using today is I've got some fancy, well not fancy, I got some acrylic based textile printing ink acrylic thing from that wonderful Blobby Craft place just around the corner. You can get them from pretty much any art shop, any reputable place that should sell them. If you're going to be printing, don't use the water-based stuff, because as soon as you wash it, it's gonna run, and it's gonna kind of your print's not going to be as bare basically after you've done it. You can use any oil-based paints. I'll be using water to kind of loosen this off a bit or thin it out, but if you're using oil-based paints or oil-based printing inks, I would use linseed oil or some vegetable oil or something like that to thin it out a bit. Linseed's always better. But yeah, so we're going to be printing, we're going to get this started, see how it looks, print on paper, print on bags, then we're going to be done, and then that'll be wonderful for this one. So catch us in a couple of seconds, and yeah, get your covers because I haven't made mine yet. So yeah, do that. Bye! Actually, that's a bit wonky. Give us a sec. There we go. So what we've got, guys, is we've got our we're going to do our print of our logo, and I'm also going to stick a lovely kind of this carrot print. You can't really see from what it is. I haven't messed it up, but there's a bit of messiness to it, I guess, to the wood in the background. So what we need to do is, how do you find out mouthful of your cover? And then we're going to be printing this off. So it's a simple process as we would do before. Like I said, you're going to be using acrylic ink or acrylic transfer medium or printing medium, then that's what I'm using. You can get a mixture or something to thicken out the paint so it does stick if it's going to be water based, but I would advise to use either acrylic or oil. Oil will last a hell of a lot longer, it takes it much longer to dry. So yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. So we're going to run our first bit off onto onto a bit of paper, see how it sits, see how it prints, and give it a clean down, and then wash it onto our canvas bags, which we're going to have to iron first, guys. Or canvas, if you're going to be doing on a t-shirt, I make sure you iron it first, just to kind of get rid of all the creases and so it sits a bit better. Yeah, okay, so let's get started. So same as always, guys, you're going to add a little bit of water to your printing ink medium, and just kind of spreading this across the surface just to get all those particles mixed in. Again, you'd be going away from yourself, cover that full roller, and yeah, keep saying because that's what keeps you sane. So I am going to quickly just get some paper here to empty off some of our, I'll just spread out this pretty evenly, just so we get an even spread. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Yeah. So, as you would normally do, guys, we're going to cover the surface of this print with, and I can see already that this is going to need some more work with cutting, but we get the general picture of what we're doing. So what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to get some baby wipes from my cupboard over here, just to clear off some of those inks that's set just around it, which we don't really want, just so it doesn't set on the page. If you do want it, well, that's fine, but I don't. So just clear off that ink. Just to get rid of the excess all around, and then we should be ready to print. Okay. I actually don't mind some of this sitting on there. It might look quite cool. So, that's the law of those so-and-sos. Let's get a bit more paper. Yeah, so we'll quickly run off the first bit. It should be aligned quite nicely. To get our test print off. Okay. So once it's registered, we're just going to get our pressing tool. Right, so once it's aligned, we're just going to get our pressing tool and then run this over. And hopefully we'll get a lovely print. In the old kind of Japanese way of wood cutting. And we'll view it together. So that's our first print off. We've got Bite Your Kitchen Garden. Yeah, so that's that. Okay, so what we've got now is we're going to do the other side of the print. Dun, 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 dun. Okay guys, oh, we're on this side. So what I've done is, we've done a test print, okay? Just onto some paper before we moved on to the fabric. So I've, just literally printed on the paper, and the same technique I'm going to use onto the fabric, just to see where we need to pick up. So avoiding the smudges on the top corner, as you can see on the bottom bit, there's a bit of things that still need cutting away. So what I've done was, using the knowledge from that test print and flipping it around, I've cut away the parts that I need to cut away, which should mean that it sets right. And I've also cut out using a saw my wood. If you're using lino, you can cut round and make it a bit tighter to your text. If you want, it's not essential. It just means that you've got a bit more of work going on, or a bit more of freedom to kind of get the ink sorted so you don't have to wash away. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly do our first bag print. Hopefully it'll come off quite nicely. But yeah, we're going to start with probably the text, since that's what we're doing first. Will we? Won't we? Will we? Yeah, we'll have to do it in 2 shifts, okay? So if we do the text first, and then we'll flip on and we're going to be doing our image, which was our carrot board print. Yeah, and see how this comes out. So give us a sec. I'm going to go and get some baby wipes just to clean out the edge of the plate if I need to, and my rolling stuff. So yeah, catch you in a sec. Boop boop. Okay guys, I've got this the bag that we're going to be printing on. I have ironed it a little bit so it just kind of sets that away, but we want to keep that iron going because when it dries, I'll turn it off and then when I turn it back on, when it dries you iron to seal on the other side of your whatever you've printed onto, and that kind of seals it a bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our generic printing preparation. We're going to get some of this ink, specialist ink stuff that we have on. As I said, you can be using either oil based or acrylic based. This is acrylic based, so yeah, just cover that roller all over and get ready to print. Obviously, if you need to take some of the surface off, get yourself some paper, which I'm going to do now. Just to take some of the surface off and get an even spread on that roller. You might find this is a bit more slippery, I guess my technical term can be, than using regular ink, but if you're using oil, it's a little bit more forgiving. So until it feels quite smooth to roll on, which is starting to do so. I guess I go from the sound of it when it's rolling, but I can't really describe what it sounds like. It's more of a bit of grip rather than slip sliding all over the place. Slip sliding away. Okay, so we've covered our surface. I'm going to do what we would normally do with our plate and get into all those nooks and crannies, covering the surface area of your print with ink. I'm gonna speed this up while I'm doing this, so catch you in a sec, okay? Okay guys, so what I've got is I've got my plate ready inked up, and now I'm simply going to print onto it. So I'm going to make sure your hands are clean, which mine are, and I'm going to lay this down and register it over the top, like so, and then get my lovely handy pressy thingy majiggery, which we technically call, and rub this in since I'm working on canvas. It's quite thick, but if you're going to be working on t-shirts or something a little bit thinner, you might want to stick some paper in between, which I will just show you how to do that now, so it doesn't run. So you're sticking simply there, just so it doesn't go onto the other side of the canvas or seep through your t-shirt, so you don't go all the way through. If you're going through a press, a lot more pressure is going to be going on there, so it will tend to do that. But yeah, I'm going to take some extra stuff. So once this is done, working in circular motions just to get that full print on there. Hopefully when we take this up, it'll show a lovely print. Okay, so Moment of truth. I'll move this ink out of the way just because I know what's going to happen there. Okay. Now, obviously, oops, I needed to put a little bit more ink on there, but you can see that that's transferred across, which is very nice indeed. Okay, so, yeah, so what you can do is, if it's not going on thick enough, you can use a paintbrush just to kind of bring it up thickly. I'll go over that again because I've registered it quite nicely, and then yeah, I'll show you the finished product. Okay, class. I'll either say it's going to be the same principle with the carrot. In fact, while we're on it, we'll just do a thin ghost looking print of that. All right. So I'm going to cover the full roller with the ink. Some more on there. And again, it just loosens up the molecules in the ink. Speedy upsies while I clean this up, and then catch you in a sec. Right, so we've got the first kind of bit of this printed off, or the typing or the fonts. I've used a spongier roller just to get the motif down, which is going to be our carrot, and I've put the wood block onto this lovely canvas bag. Obviously iron it first because you don't want the creases to kind of overlap on the inks, and it might make it run and won't make it as successful as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over, since it's all nicely in place, and I'm going to use my lovely pressing tool just to get some of the ink really in to the canvas there. What you can use is a bit of masking tape, what I did just around the outside of this one, just to make sure that kind of there's no ink that will run onto the outside of the plate. If you're using lino, it shouldn't be that much of an issue, but yeah, give that a shot. So what we're doing is we're just, as we would with a hand press, just kind of getting in all the nooks and crannies of the canvas bag, and hopefully it should print out okay. So, moment of truth. See, the more ink you put on, the thicker it will come out. I've gone for a kind of light number because I didn't want too much of the kind of ink to run or anything. So I didn't lacquer it on too much, especially with this carrot as well, because there's a lot of detail in it. So let's see how it goes. Perfect. Okay, so that's how we get it done. Woo! Long time coming, but that's the kind of the basic technique of what we're going to be doing for the woodcuts anyway. What I'll do is I'm going to, like I said, this is going to be one of the latter videos before we start doing some Christmas stuff. I'll quickly show you, I'll probably do a lino cut next, or something to do with kind of Christmas cards, or something printing that we would normally do in the studio with you guys. So yeah, smashing job as always, guys. This is that was printing on a fabric. What you do want to do is, once this is dried, get an iron and iron the back side of it. That should seal in the ink to the fabric, and yeah, so it just lasts that little bit longer, because as soon as this goes in the wash, if you're using water based, it's gonna run. So either acrylic or oil, and that'll be it set for quite some time. Okay, been always amazing, guys. Really excited to see your work. This has been a video that I've done a few stages. And for funsies, I've just been messing around with things in the background. Obviously, I started with a full beard and now I have a mustache. So yeah, great work as always, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Happy Tuesday, happy end of November, happy Christmassy time. So we'll get that started, okay? Catch you, see you soon. Hugs and all that. Christmas spirit. Oh.